this episode of Debate Club.
She's not gonna rest. She's not going to rest.
No rest for the wicked.
Are you telling me you think you're better than Stephen Schwartz?
What?
Stephen Schwartz, the man, the myth, the legend.
When I heard the words part 1 and part 2, a piece of my soul died. I have watched Wicked live, so I know what I'm speaking about.
Josh Hutcherson was an entire meme for 6 months.
Dun, 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 dun.
Girl, I'm making my closing argument, shush.
You're so wrong!
No, I'm not. If I was Elphaba, that's what I do. I just go up, I just go, ah! That's Paul Mescal. Yes.
Guys, Glinda's better.
Girl. Wicked the musical versus Wicked the movie. Let's go.
Oh,
Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. This is a battle that has been waiting to happen, not just for weeks, not just since the movie came out, for months. Amy and I have been talking about this and planning this episode for literal months because she's not going to rest. She's not going to rest.
No rest for the wicked, Kifietu.
That's good. That was good. She is, so let me break this down to you. Amy is musical obsessed.
Absolutely.
And I love her for it. However, this is the one thing I feel like she's so super wrong about. And today, that's what we're going to debate.
I have one statement. It's a question.
I have one statement. It's a question. Yes, tell me.
I have one question. Have you seen Cats?
Have you seen In the Heights?
Have you seen Devon Hansen?
Have you seen
Start,
Aladdin?
guys. Aladdin does
Aladdin.
not count.
Amy, I'm going to
Aladdin
prove
does
you
not
wrong.
count.
Wicked the musical versus Wicked the movie. Let's f***ing go.
I'm ready.
How did you feel about the Wicked movie before watching it? I always have hope. I'm always really optimistic with these things. Sometimes it doesn't work in my favor, but sometimes it really does, like it did with this movie.
I am the type of person who likes to go in for everything with super low hopes and then hope it impresses me. So I'm a very pessimistic in this kind of way. Also, I'm laying down my qualifications. I have watched Wicked live, so I know what I'm speaking about.
She sent me a photo about 2 days ago, which she watched the Wicked musical bootleg twice. Watched the movie yesterday and she's like, hey, I have everything prepared. I'm going to get eaten alive today. I'm scared. I'm actually scared for my life. But I'm optimistic, unlike someone else I know. Girl, she has a paper. She has I'm going to show. She has a whole paper. What is going on?
You need to come prepared. Sorry.
I am prepared. I have the trust of Wicked on my side, Wicked the movie.
My life is on the line.
I was super happy, like as in when I first saw the trailer of this movie, I was so excited. Mainly because, we've run into a lot of very bad musical movies, but this one genuinely looked so great. So great.
When I heard the words part 1 and part 2, a piece of my soul died.
Wait, not gonna lie, I didn't even realize that. But we'll talk about this in depth later. But I didn't even realize it because I was just like so distracted by the fact that it was gonna be a good movie. I didn't care.
Okay.
I didn't care. It's like just I don't know. It was just I watched it and I was like, okay, this is going to hit hard. I'm so excited to watch this like in November. And this was like what, in June? June is when the first
It was
trailer
coming
came
out later than it actually came out.
You know?
And then they had to read it back a bit. But when you had last year, same time when it came out, The Hunger Games Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes came out.
Guys, I forgot to mention that Amy's a die-hard Hunger Games fan.
If you
but
compare,
like, unreasonably so.
if you compare the two movies, they both have a main blonde lead who betrays the main brown-haired lead with a really weird teacher who is paid by Peter Dinklage.
And they all randomly sing.
As that.
For no reason.
So I think the comparison is the great film that came out last year versus these 2 following years, which were having Wicked Part 1 and 2. Having said that, I don't think anyone has ever spoken worse about the film than I did before it came out. It wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. It wasn't great. I can't, attest to the fact that it was great.
This blows my mind, though. This blows my mind. So, literally, just when you first heard it, what was going through your mind?
My mind went, oh no, they're coming for this. This thing I love. They're coming.
Has this ever
for my
happened to you
lifeline.
before? It feels like you have post-trauma about this.
It's mostly the same feeling I get when someone's like, we're going to adapt this book you really love into a film. And I'm like,
fair enough.
okay.
Fair
But with
enough.
books, it's different. Because when you adapt a book into a film, you're adding so much to the world
Yeah.
and the visuals, which you don't get in the book. When it's a musical, you've already seen everything. They've done it to perfection. And
To
then you just
perfection,
make
though.
it... Yes.
To perfection. Theatre, the nature of theatre is imperfection. And that's why everyone loves theatre. So, I don't agree with you on that one.
When you have that riff in the film, the ending riff, and the changes they made... Didn't make that many changes to the score, at least. Thank God. Because when you have Dear Evan Hansen...
It's like she's lost a loved one. I feel like we need to move on.
I understand that it was split into two parts so they would keep all of the original songs, which I'm very glad they did, because that's usually my biggest issue regarding movie musicals, that they remove
Precisely.
songs and they add new ones, which is absolute bullshit.
Even though from
But
a
it's
movie
fine.
standpoint, there were some songs in the movie which I was like, why are they included? Please
But
get
they
them out.
were there. However, when you have a musical that's been running for 21 years, you'd think that this musical that is in total, including interval, 2 hours and 45 minutes long, or 48 minutes, something like that, and the film is, the part one is the same length as the entirety of the musical, including interval, you're doing something wrong.
I don't think it's something wrong. I think it's giving the story the time it needs. Because honestly, I felt like Wicked the Musical... Oh my goodness. Wicked the Musical, the movie. It's like High School Musical, the movie, the series, the film, the whatever. I felt like the movie was paced so beautifully. I think it was like one of the best paced movies, and I'm talking from a movie standpoint, that I've ever seen. It was not rushed. It was not like slow at parts. Well, there was one part which was slow, but like, I'm not going to complain.
Maria, did you see how long Defying Gravity took to get to the point? They added
But I
so
really
much.
enjoyed it. I loved the hot air
yesterday,
balloon.
when we watched it yesterday, the Dancing Through Life, which I don't have many problems against because Jonathan Bailey.
Yes, how can you have
And
problems about Jonathan
also,
Bailey?
the library scene was very well executed and the dance was great.
Exquisite.
But that never ends. There's so many added pieces of dialogue which are so unnecessary.
This is the problem, because this is what I was talking about pacing. It's that I'm pretty sure that now if I go and watch the musical, I will feel like it's so crammed and I will miss the air, the space they held for the dialogue. Did you see Ariana Grande and Sylvia talking about that interview?
Crying. We should cry during this.
We should have boiling our eyes. But they talked about
Maria,
the interview.
I don't know what you're talking
I
about.
know what you mean.
I grew up with this musical. I was Glinda when I was, 9?
I know,
And I've
girl.
kept it with me
I
all
know,
my
girl.
life.
No, but Ariana and Sylvia talked about that interview, and they're like, we equally did not know what was going
I know,
on.
I saw.
Because she asked something, and we're like, oh, Cynthia started feeling it. And Ariana was like, and then I felt a bit left out, so I needed to start feeling it. I'm like, what is happening? This is my main argument, that I feel so I'm so appreciative that they did, not from a business standpoint, because I'm sure that's a very big other factor, that it is a very big
It's all
business-minded
commercial. It's
decision.
all commercial. So people are like, hey guys, come back next year for part 2.
But I feel like, and after I found out that John M. Chu also directed In the Heights, which was a beautiful musical
he
movie.
did that in one.
That's what I mean. There are some musicals which could have been fit into one movie length, and there are some others which just needed their time. And I am so glad that they had that conscious decision to do that instead of just cramming it into one movie.
But the problem you have is the musical sets up everything so perfectly and you understand whatever needs to be said within the time allotted. The film just expands on everything with unnecessary details that you don't need.
don't need or are being petty about.
It changes Elphaba's character entirely because you have the movie version where she's so much more hurt by whatever people are saying. And in the musical, it's a point. The musical is so much funnier. The musical is hilarious. You're constantly laughing because Elphaba, Glinda, all of them have these one-liners that are so snappy, which you don't get in the musical because, for example, one of the examples I can think about, which is furthering on to another question about Jonathan Bailey as Fiyero, you have the line which goes, I don't know, Glinda goes, I don't know what Fiyero, how
Amy pulling out the quote book right now. She's like, the pages are flipping in her mind.
You have Glinda going, I don't know how Fiyero is acting. He's started thinking. And then it's, oh, wow, that's a joke because obviously he's dumb.
Yeah.
And people normally think, but he's so dumb that he doesn't think.
Oh, I know some people who don't think like that's a feat of engineering when a person thinks. There are some people out there, guys. Just be aware of them in your life.
But the joke is that she goes, oh, he's suddenly thinking. And Elphaba goes, oh. And then he comes in straight after in the musical, like direct, it's line, punchline. It goes, oh, he's thinking. And he's like, Elphaba's like, oh, okay. He comes in, he goes, I've been thinking. And Elphaba goes, I've heard. Which is so funny in the musical. And people, like if you watch the book, like people are laughing their asses off. But in the film, in both cinema experiences I had, people are maybe chuckle. Maybe. Because they take so much time between Glinda saying it and Elphaba reacting to Fiyero coming in that it's like, you've lost it.
It's just like Amy's built her own sign language out here.
Follow the yellow brick road, guys. There is no better feeling than walking into a theatre and hearing the overture of a musical with the orchestra blasting and hearing dun 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 dun. And suddenly the ensemble bursts out screaming, "Good news, she's dead!" Fun fact, when the Queen of England died...
I was about to mention this. Oh my God.
This is one of my favourite fun facts ever. I think it's my number one.
Recently. Oh my goodness.
I saw it the day the Queen of England died. Basically what happened is that an announcer came on previously, before the show, and he announced the Queen of England is dead, but she loves theatre, so...
He was so super serious, just like, ladies and gentlemen,
yes.
It is with my deepest thoughts and prayers and condolences that the Queen has passed away. She was a theatre lover, but we just wanted to preface the opening number that this has no correlation to her death.
No, they said everything will be performed as written, and then he walks off.
It goes down.
It goes. Good news, she's dead. The Witch of the West is dead.
Literally, like, oh my God. You just know there are some audience members who are like, that is so brilliant, and some others who walked out of the theatre at that exact moment.
I'm not kidding. I spent a week laughing at it. I showed everyone incredible. Who would watch. Anyways, that's besides the point. But the experience you get in a live theatre, hearing all these songs being sung so passionately, and stuff moves around you, you see stuff coming in and out. My main issue with the film has to be Defying Gravity. I'm sorry, it's a very controversial opinion, but you have this incredibly iconic moment of Elphaba being high above everyone, flying, and you cannot see, essentially, the people who are lying on the ground, looking up to her, singing while she's having her huge moment. It's such an influential moment in theatre. Everyone knows it. It's referenced in musicals such as Shrek and other people. It's Shrek. Yes, it is. It is.
Shrek, man. Shrek just pull out all the stops, man. Like, I swear to God, like, how do they just keep getting... I'm so excited for Shrek 5, guys. Anyway, separate conversation, but I completely understand you.
Yes, but then in the film, you have her flying around on her broomstick. She looks like a fly. She looks like she's really trying to run away, but then she's also going back in front of the people. She somehow got the monkeys to be on her side when they were attacking her, like 2 minutes before, and it takes everything out of the magic that you get in that one scene. And then she goes and does the riff, which is another huge issue. Because what people don't understand is Wicked has specific allowances on what you can do with the final Defying Gravity riff. There are only a
Yes.
few notes you can change.
Are you telling me you think you're better than Stephen Schwartz?
What?
Stephen Schwartz, the man, the myth, the legend. You're telling me. Because not only did he make the musical, he also rescored the entire movie. Movies allow for these musicals to get that justified crispness that they need to make them that just bit better. Let's go back to that library. That library scene. How do you expect them to do that on stage without blowing a budget? I'm telling you, if they probably did it on stage, it would have cost more to do it on stage in the exact same way than in a film. And in the film, it worked so well. It is a scene which I've talked about like to several people, just being like, how did they do it? Because just there were some set pieces in that movie which were mind blowing. The fact that they went to that tulip farm in the middle of the UK. They remade that really famous tulip farm in the middle of the UK and actually pulled it off. They put the time and effort into every single piece of this movie.
They didn't have to do that.
But there's a difference between have to and need to justify the movie. And I felt like this movie was very beautifully justified in every single one of its ways.
It just shouldn't have been made.
She's done. She's tired. She wants to go home. She's like, it shouldn't have been made.
No, because when you have such an amazing product of theatre that's been running again for 21 years, it's still there for a reason. People go and watch it time and time again because it's so brilliant. And you have, if you're talking about Dancing Through Life, yes, the library scene is fantastic. I really liked it, but the song is a good 5 to 10 minutes longer than it is in the musical.
And did you hate that?
Parts of it were unnecessary. The whole dance is so much fun. No, there's a huge thing. In the film, they make the dance the whatever they do.
At the sea party.
At the Osdas ballroom.
Whatever, the sea party.
That dance sequence that they do is so meaningful and so touching to Elphaba and Glinda, and everyone likes it and loves it. In the musical, it's them essentially dancing really badly and comically because the whole point is that Elphaba doesn't know how to dance. And she's busting out these silly moves, and the Glinda's like, okay, I'm going to go embarrass myself and do the same thing she's doing, as opposed to the musical being like, this is so deep, this is life-changing, we're holding space for the dance in Dancing Through Life.
I think all the space held was appropriate. All the space held was appropriate. All of it, every single bit.
However, Defying Gravity held too much space. I see your Ariana Grande as Glinda, and I raise you an Ali Mosi as Glinda.
Not even Kristen Chenoweth.
We're not speaking about Kristen Chenoweth. I raise you an Ali Mosi.
However, I felt like Cynthia.
No, don't, no. I have a bigger problem with that. No.
Why?
She's a good singer. She's a very good singer, but I don't feel that, one, her vocals were shown off in the correct way in this musical, because it is so heavily
Girl, were you
touched.
asleep watching this film?
No, I watched it twice.
I think you were asleep both times. What do you mean her vocals weren't shown off in this musical? The Wizard and I?
In the right way.
The Wizard and I.
They weren't shown off in the right way.
I
They
think
were shown off
in the
in
perfect way.
Oh, I'm singing this kind of way, but she lacked the proper Elphaba emotions that were needed to fully flesh out Elphaba's character as essentially being a really funny person.
I genuinely think that sometimes in the musical, both Glinda and Elphaba, and I think there's like a theatre thing as well, come off as a bit whiny. And I really, really loved that's like the movie Elphaba came off as like this really, I don't give a crap about what you think. Like a really
You're so
stoic
wrong.
person.
You're so wrong.
No, I'm not.
She was so not strong. She cared so much about what people thought.
Girl, she saved
That's
the
not
goat.
a word.
Okay, she saved the goat.
Actually,
she was a strong woman.
She saved the lion, not the goat.
She saved everyone.
No, the goat isn't saved.
Amy, what is happening?
Did you see the visions she's having for part 2, where the goat is in the cage? Dr. Dillamond.
But the goat is
we
coming
put respect
out.
on the goat's name.
The goat is coming
Dr.
back out.
Dillamond.
He's coming back out.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
No, he's not.
Yes. Please.
Do you know how it ends?
Yeah.
Spoiler alert,
But
guys.
they changed so many
She
things in the...
meant. No, she doesn't.
They changed so many
she
things in
doesn't.
the movie that I have hope that this goat is going to be saved. The Doctor will be saved.
Plot points wise, they didn't change much.
He's gonna be saved.
No, he's not.
He is. Okay, wait, let's talk about the
And
cast
the
for a
lion
second.
cub becomes the cowardly lion.
Yes, I know that. And Bok becomes a Tin Man,
Yes,
and
Fiora
Fiora
becomes a scarecrow.
Like, it's all really nice and cute and beautiful. And then Nessa...
Idina and Kristen's cameos in the film overshadowed everything Cynthia and Ariana were doing.
Are you serious?
Yes,
Oh.
100%. Why do you think Idina felt the need to use the original Broadway riff in her Wizomania section, and then Cynthia went off and did her own stupid little riff?
Girl, I think the Cynthia riff has more societal value than Idina's riff.
What society are you living in?
In the one we are also living in. Girl, have you seen TikTok?
How many people have made memes about the musical?
No one, because no one cares.
No one. Because it's not bad enough for people to make memes out
Memes does
of.
not necessarily mean it's bad. How many people make
Do you
memes
know-
about Hunger Games?
Wait.
Girl, Josh
you know-
Hutcherson was an entire meme for 6 months.
Do you know?
What do you want to
that-
tell me?
Do you know that
You're going to tell me the Hunger Games was bad?
Do you want to kill me?
Jeff Goldblum as the wizard was the most perfect casting choice
Absolutely,
ever.
no, that I agree. He's
Like,
really good. But
come
then,
on.
But then, Madame Morrible was a questionable casting.
I'm sorry, Michelle Yeoh. I love you, girl. As if she's my best friend. Michelle Yeoh, I love you. But stick to the heartfelt coming of age movies.
A very questionable casting.
You will win
plus,
so many more Oscars from those.
Arguably, I think the best Elphaba this year was Paul Mescal.
Those SNL skits were everything. Not just Gladiator, the musical. Everything about that SNL episode was great. Every single thing.
Paul Mescal should replace Cynthia Erivo for Wicked Part 2 coming out in November 2025.
It's just this is the transition. Every single time we move on to a new debate thing, this is the transition. Should all musicals be turned into movies?
No.
I feel hurt. Girl, you're hurting me. Just that felt like a slap. She was no.
It was. It was. Didn't you see my hand next to your face?
Okay. Why?
How many musicals can you name that were benefited from becoming a movie?
In the Heights. West Side Story.
Have you watched the original version of In the Heights, though?
No.
Because, Ezra, can you compare and contrast when you don't know the musical that well?
Yes.
No, you can't.
I've watched clips. Clips is enough to tell
No,
me what the
that's
main...
not. No,
Look,
it's not.
wait. If I wanted to watch a side-by-side comparison of a scene and a scene, I can very much do that. And from the 4 or 5 scenes I have seen, I have proven to myself that there are benefits that come from turning musicals into movies. I also was about to say something really stupid. I was about to say that Back to the Future would really benefit from becoming a movie.
Illa. You know
Wow.
You know what's worse than musicals becoming movies?
What?
When movies become musicals and then the musicals become movies again.
Like High School Musical.
No, like Mean Girls. What the fuck is wrong with that? No.
I
Guys,
low-key am on the same bandwagon.
When a movie
about
becomes a
that.
musical, and then the musical becomes a movie, and then the musical revival is based on the movie that was based on the musical, that is based on the movie. What is up with that? When
She's
is
so heated
Mean Girls
about
on
this.
West End closing? And I say this, I have seen it. And it's so lost in translation.
There is also a really weird argument that there are some musical movies.
It's more lost in translation than Sofia Coppola's film. And that's saying a lot. I'm a Sofia Coppola hater to my core.
No, that's a separate other book that we need to open, girl. It's also really interesting that there are some movie musicals. The one that comes to mind is The Greatest Showman, which
But that's not a musical.
it technically is.
It's not a stage musical.
No, I know. But I think that if they had to put it on stage,
Like
it would
La La
not have
Land.
the same charm. What did you just say?
La La Land.
Say it again.
La La Land.
No, but you said it the first time a bit differently. One more time for everyone to hear.
It's one of my favorite movies of
Say
all time.
it.
La La Land.
Okay, now you said it properly. That first you just went La La Land.
It's
What's
not.
a La La Land?
It gets stuck. I think what Maria is trying to say is that Back to the Future should become a movie now.
It's like Mean Girls. You know, let's do the thing again. Lest we not forget, I bring up again. At some point, the main inciting incident was the Taliban. Like, we need another Back to the Future. Okay, we really do. Like, we need a revival. I end with this point. Musicals in theatres are so difficult to watch. One, on a location basis, and two, on a ticket price basis. That sometimes movies are the only way which people are going to ever get these experiences.
And the solution to that is pro shots.
Sorry? What did you just say?
The solution to you not, instead of making a movie so people can access theatre, just film the musical. You know how many people went to watch Hamilton after watching the pro shot?
Again, I can't get over this word. What are you saying?
Pro shot.
Please stop.
Professionally shot.
Stop saying it.
It's called a pro shot.
Sounds
it's professionally shot version of a musical.
When movies were invented, they were to create magic for people to watch all together and as well in their home, something which you cannot do in a theatre. With Wicked, the musical, the movie, I felt like they created that same exact magic. Think of Aladdin, the musical, the movie.
Mandush Yasan!
Girl, I'm making my closing argument, shush! Think of Aladdin, the musical, the movie. That was
It's
exquisite.
not even based on the musical! No. You can't use that
Wicked,
as an argument.
the movie, deserves its space.
Wicked, the musical, is a different experience every single time you go to watch. And you experience new magical things, you have the nuances of the different ensemble members, which you just don't get in the film, because the film is shot once, and you can only see what they're showing you. So, it's way more of an immersive, interactive experience when you're watching a musical, and also could have been adapted a bit better.
So, who do you think won and what should we debate next? Leave a comment down below and like us because you love Amy and I holding space. And remember, the first rule of Debate Club is don't talk about Debate Club. Try and pronounce Debate Club for me, Amy. I dare you.
Debate Club. DEBATECLUB. Guys, I was in spelling
Nikki,
bee.
come in here right now.